we're back. Microphone was off, but I caught it before I started talking. What's up, everybody? Carolina Keith, regular Keith, Professor Keith, just Keith. I'm cool with all of them. Glad to see you again. Thursday, July 9th, as we come to a close on the second week of July. It's actually the first full week of July, but the second weekly close coming up on July. I'm glad you're here watching. We got some stuff to talk about. I'm going to pull up SpaceX, Bitcoin, Tesla, XRP, some other ones, SPY, NASDAQ, Dow Jones. Let's have a crack at it, shall we? Welcome, without further ado, to Charts After Dark. If you haven't done so, please go hit like. It's free. It costs absolutely nothing. And while you're there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss anything. And subscribe. We approached 11,000. Fell back some. I really wanted to crack 11,000. I don't know where the channel goes as far as subscribers go. It's never been a goal to have this amazing amount of subscribers. I just wanted to see it grow. And that wasn't because I make money on it. It doesn't really make any money. It's just that more people learn and you reach more people and help more people, and more people grow together with a bigger channel, right? We've never had the huge numbers. We've never had the mega broadcasts that some people will get because I've never sold out. I've never took a deal. I've never taken tokens from someone and then promoted their stuff. I've never, I've had multiple offers. I get them all the time, even still during the middle of a bear market, which is incredible. I think really they just scope out who has the highest engagement amongst influencers. Influencers. They have the highest influence count or the views counts or whatever. And they start offering us deals, and I never take them. I had two come in yesterday. One for, I don't even, you know what? I'm not going to mention the names. Because if I mention the names and you guys are going to go research them, and I don't want that to happen. Nope. No deal here. Nope. Not what I do. Sorry. All right. Anyway, start this off with a crack, shall we? Right off the bat, we'll get into SpaceX here. Now, I've got the 4-hour chart pulled up because I wanted you to be able to see it in a little bit better detail about what I'm going to talk about here. The thumbnails never clickbait with me. Is the SpaceX chart failing? Well, as you can see, for now, it is a downtrend and it is pinned directly. It is pinned directly on the trend line and the bottom of the channel. This is a 4-hour chart, not a daily chart. I can pull the daily chart and look very similar. We don't have very many days, so I'm trying to put more data on the screen, so we got more to look at, right? Same failure we had a few days ago, a week ago actually, on the 6th, or I'm sorry, a couple days ago on the 6th. Same exact touch, same exact fail. If I pull up some 821 EMA moving averages, EMAs, exponential moving averages here on the screen, as you see, we are underneath both the 8 EMA in green and the 21 EMA in purple. You can follow the cursor right there. Both are a no-go. And as such, there's nothing much to look at, is there? Until this changes and until we jump the 821 EMA and hold it for a significant period of time, aka 2 days, I don't have much faith in it. It's also worth noting here, this definitely closed the new low down here and appeared, for what it's worth, to wipe the liquidity that was available, right? So you had a lot of longs that jumped in down here, rode the wave up. All right, they got their heads chopped off up here at the top. That sucked for those, or they took profits. It's all good either way. Bears came rushing in, and they actually came down and threw a wick that was lower than the previous low. That wiped all the longs out then, right? You got a march of longs back in. They ran to the 821 EMA that I just showed you there a moment ago and had since forth retreated, and you got nothing but sell pressure on the back end. It's also worth noting, this is very low volume stuff. If I flip it to the daily here, you'll see I don't have any big, giant, amazing looking candles aside from the couple that we got to start things off with, which rapidly dried up and brought us right back down with the couple that did the opposite. We had one big solid candle on the first. Okay, that one hurt. And after that one, it's been smaller, lower volume stuff. And even Monday and Tuesday, or Tuesday was a decent candle, but the next day gapped up, it opened, come back down. You definitely closed a new low, as you can see there, which typically means you're going to get a lower low in at some point or a lower high in at some point. The thing is, it's still trying to hold on to this channel bottom here. And as such, it's just consolidating, doing much of nothing, right? Is what it is. Give the people some sub 100 SPX. Iambino. I fully agree, bro. And we'll go over that case right now, actually. I talked about this on the last live stream, but I'll pull it up again. If you go through overall history here from the bottom to the top, and I pull fibs over to the side like so, just to give us some room to look. I am in linear mode, not log mode. I can flip it to log mode to get similar numbers, but since this is brand new, out the box and whatnot, why not show you linear mode? It's fine. Pull it over here nice and wide where you can see it real good. Give us plenty of leeway in order to look at this. Still holding on to this one fib at 148, as you see. In the instance that it fails that one fib and goes any lower, I could actually put that about 150. That needs to be 150 because that's where it opened up on day one. If it closes below that, our potential run levels here are marked as such. These are the 1272, 1414, and 1618 Fibonacci retracement lines. They're breakout lines, and they're where we look for charts to reverse because that's typically where profits get taken. Those prices are 128, call it 130, 118.20, call it 120, and then 102, call it 100, very close to $100. You get down to $100 and you're going to have a ton of people piling in because not only is that the 1618 fib in linear mode, but it's also a nice round psychological number of 100 flat, and that stuff matters to people. They've proven this. Companies like Walmart, retailers, big box stores will put prices just below $10, $9.99, $9.98, right? And this gives you the psychological effect of thinking that it's less than it actually is. It's only a penny, but that makes you think, well, it's actually cheaper than, so you'll be more inclined to buy it. In fact, they can make it $10.99 and you go, well, it's only $10. Actually, no, it's 11, right? That happens a lot. And it's a little simple marketing trick people learned a while back, right? And then Walmart took it to the next level and said, well, let's do numbers that are very odd and let's see how that works. And they used to call these rollback prices. So instead of being $4, it'd be $3.77 or $3.81. And the oddball number at the end made you stop and think for a second and go, oh, well, that must be cheaper. Even if it really wasn't. It's a really, really good marketing gimmick. But point is, there's likely some more down here, and that round psychological number of 100, be it 102 or 99, is more likely than not to hold if it happens. Now, is that the end of the world for SpaceX? The answer is no, it's not. At that point, going to the daily chart, you would start to see some oversold conditions. And we only have a couple days data on the RSI, the relative strength index. We look for this to be overbought above the shaded area or oversold below the shaded area. And when not, there is two zones to watch. In the mid right here, where the dashed line is at 50, and then 40, which is what I call the action line. In this area, fairly nominal trading. Get over the 50, and you're likely to run to the top of the shaded area. Get below the 40, and you're likely to run to the bottom of the shaded area where oversold is. If we get an oversold condition, to me, that's going to be very, very difficult for me to turn and pass on. I may have to take a chance. You don't even have a MACD yet. No point in looking at that. If I take Fibonacci retracement, I actually, you know what? Let me draw a box down here because I love drawing a box. In the future, let's see if it actually hits it. There you go. I'll draw a nice tight box around the 1.618 fib, as you see right there. Very little leeway in either direction. And that is my let's see if it happens box. All right. If I pull up anything else like the Ichimoku cloud, you really don't have the data for it yet. You need 27 bars, and we don't even have 27 bars yet. Pivot points, well, you do have data on that, and you're playing around with S1 right now. S1 is support 1. It's back and forth on failing it and taking it. And again, those other support levels are 132 and that same 102 level down at S3, which would be the last level of mathematical support, even though there's no candles there, and those candles help create support. It's a new asset. It's going to have to run a little bit, sort of create its own thing. Here's your Bollinger Bands. And as you see, you don't even have any yet because 16 is the minimum days for Bollinger Bands. If I put on a 4 hour, you'll start to see that the Bollinger Bands are pretty darn tight, but they could get tighter. And then the 12 hour, you still don't have any there. So you have very limited data and very little data analytics to go through with your indicators to help give you a confluence on what's going on. And we like to do things confluence based here. We don't like to take one thing and say, ooh, that's it. We like to hit multiple data points. If you come up with multiple data points, you put them all in one basket, analyze them all. You're much better off to come out with a good answer rather than a bad answer. It's the assassin way. Okay, that's how we do it here. 786 Assassins. Never look at one thing. We take the whole, take all the data, analyze, and come up with a better answer. We've been doing this for years. Hope you're watching. We don't play any games here. We try to keep it as real as we can, even if it doesn't look good. So there's my SpaceX take. Use the first couple minutes specifically on SpaceX. If you're watching over on Rumble, I don't know why it's not showing up on mine over here. Best guess. I can't tell you. I set it up before the stream and everything said connected. Then I pulled it up and it doesn't show up over on Rumble. I'm like, what is going on here, dude? It happens from time to time. But we are watching over on X and we are watching over on YouTube. If you have an asset that you want us to look at the end of the stream right here, we can jump in and check them. Just drop them in the comment box, either on X, on the live stream comments, or over here on YouTube on the live stream comments, and I'll try to get to them at the end, right? As such, off to Tesla. We looked at SpaceX, back to Tesla we go. Same sort of downward, slow, sideways down rhythm is happening here with Tesla. In fact, let me make this one green. This is an uptrend line. Oh. You have a big wedge here forming. You can clearly see that. Anybody that misses that isn't looking close enough. It's worth noting that you have 1, 2, 3 hits on the trend line here, and it is still yet to cross the trend line. It looks like it's just boiling sideways to me, trying to figure out what exactly it wants to do. And in that same time frame where we saw SpaceX have fibs come over and make a line that looked like the maybe in August or late August would be a decision point, we're going to see if Tesla does the same time frame, and I'm assuming that it will. But you know, assuming is a fool's game. Here's our moving averages. We're still under the 200 moving average. We rejected it, chopped back and forth, and as you can see, we're tied up in all these moving averages. They're all in a mess. They're out of order, and it's going to take a little bit for those moving averages to reorder themselves. And what do I mean by reorder themselves? Well, it's important to know that every once in a while, the moving averages get out of order. And by out of order, I mean 8 EMA, 21 EMA, 50, 100, 200 moving average in order, ascending and or descending. All right, so our 8 and 21 EMA are over the 100, but they're under the 50, which is in yellow right there, and they're under the 200. Furthermore, the 50 is over the 100. 50 is over the 100, right? You want it either up here at 50, 100, 200, or you want 200, 100, 50 in order as such. And then you want those EMAs either above them or below them, depending on whether they're going up or down. They're all out of order and all jumbled up. We usually see price go sideways until these moving averages have a chance to form into a wedge here. You'll see the 200 stay flat, the 50 kind of swerve around, the 100 kind of swerve around, 821 EMA. Everything's sort of building up and moving this direction here. So I'm assuming that's going to continue to happen. Does that mean a bad thing or a good thing? Well, it's nothing. It's consolidation. And it's actually a good thing that we're seeing it, because consolidation helps us see the larger picture. Here is our Bollinger Bands. We're still dead inside of the bands, and they're very equal length. They haven't tightened or narrowed. You want to see these Bollinger Bands tighten and squeeze in here, and they just haven't done so yet. Over the next several days, they're going to start tightening since price action has been so darn sideways. Looking at the weekly, you're also going to get tightening Bollinger Bands on the weekly, because we've had nothing but sideways since April. Bang, 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 bang. And then beyond that, we've been sideways since October, really, right? The Bollinger Bands got real wide back here, and then they narrowed and got very tight. And that's a good example of what happens when they get tight.
They'll bunch up and then pop loose, right? We hadn't seen that happen yet. It means there's likely more consolidation coming. That's how the data works, folks. Keep it real, keep it to yourself. S&P 500. Interesting enough, over the last couple hours of the trading day, S&P 500 jumped what looks like it may have jumped the trend line here. Linear log doesn't matter. She came up with a really nice couple candles off the 821 EMA. Breaking that trend line right there is a big deal. We're going to prove it tomorrow. So we've had this happen before on Thursdays, and then the thing roll back and slow back down again. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to see it hold it on Friday. And if so, we very well may challenge another all-time high. Very, very nice solid move here for SP 500. Big hammer candle on the weekly. That looks like it wants more to me. Well, let's see. NASDAQ, it looks a little worse, the S&P 500, but that's good buy pressure on top of the AEMA and the short-term uptrend. Sellers are having a rough time pushing this price down on the weekly chart. You can see that clearly by that wick. Now on the daily, she did jump back over the 821 EMA. It's a little worse off here. Lower high, lower high. I'm sorry. Overall high, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high. Let's make some new highs here. And if you can, well, the NASDAQ has a chance to push out and keep on going. It's worth noting Apple here. Look at this. I've already got my profits and walked away from this. But here she goes again, taking off and starting to rip. Over Sniper's Alley, 786, 886 level. Very impressive. Did not want to fail the AEMA. I really like seeing stuff like that show power. This leads me to believe that if it can get over this previous high, which is right near now, here becomes your take profit levels. 330, 337, and lastly, up here at the 1618, 347, aka 350. Linear log, they're going to come out about the same. Very impressive move from Apple, showing real power and strength to come off that 100 moving average and just cut right back through everything. Very, very strong move. Nvidia, real quick, had a really good couple days, but be careful. She's still stuck under the trend line, as you see. I don't want no damn AI. I was trying to pick a drawing tool. There we go. As you see, high, lower high, lower high, lower high, all kicking against the trend line, not being able to get out. It's going to be a bit. It's going to be a bit. It's over the 821 EMA, but it's stuck under the 50. So even if it gets loose, it's probably going to go head first right in that trend line and do much ado about nothing. All right. So worth noting that while it has improved, you need some more juice in there. Don't want to go through a whole bunch of other stocks and equities without going over some crypto stuff first. We haven't even looked at the Bitcoin. And here we go. So after holding on to the AEMA and then failing the AEMA and then taking the AEMA back today at closing, looky here, right back over the 821 EMA with an 821 EMA cross back again. You only got one close underneath the 821. That's pretty good. Two closes would have been bad, but you only got one. Nice. And as such, she's aiming back for that 50 moving average yet again. Is it going to actually get there this time? You be the judge. Can it hold on to the 200 moving average on the weekly? You be the judge. We've seen this game before where it plays around with it. And as I've described before, that's a sticky magnetic line. That 200 weekly moving average, sticky magnetic line, does not like to let go. Once it does, it tends to sprint. But it's got to get away from it first. So far, anything sub 72, man, really, anything sub 73,000 is just a lower high. You need to see this thing break that red trend line and keep it going and make a new high. Until then, it's just overall lower highs and crabbing out sideways. I've said it before, you very well may have already hit your bottom here. And if that's the case, we're going to get a double bottom. That double bottom will come in at or near the same price or same level. Maybe not perfectly, but it'll probably get close. And if you haven't bottomed yet, you're going to get one more liquidity flush
or they run the longs off that came in right here and at least try to wipe them out with a wick, right? That's bound to happen sometime in quarter three, right? We just started quarter three. It's going to be a bit, right? July, August, September. Usually around the end of quarter three, the beginning of quarter four is when we see this thing really, really take its last wind and sprint to the bottoms. We still haven't been oversold on the weekly. This was a daily chart that I was looking at. And here's the daily. Big oversold. It almost tickled oversold again, and then it sprinted back up. Is it going to go oversold on the weekly again? We shall see. For now, it's just mostly sideways. And while the daily has improved, you haven't got enough yet to really move us off the hump. Look at your weekly MACD. My goodness. So it's trying to cross back up, and I like that. That's a good thing. It has work to do, though, right? You can see that. So even if it crosses up, it's got to get back over the midline, and I'm not convinced that it's going to do that all at once. I think it's likely sideways, a little bit of up, and then more down. Here are your pivot points to lead further credence into what I'm saying. 64,000, hardcore level here. That's S2. And even if it gets to breaks 64,000, you got to deal with S1 up here at 76. All lower highs in that sense, and not good enough if you fail. S3 is down here at 44 to 45,000. Boy, wouldn't that be a brutal stab in the chest? A lot of people would probably be ran off and scared away. And if that happened, I would be more than willing to buy. More than willing to buy. And I've said it before, I'm going to be way heavier on Bitcoin this time and not so much on altcoins. There's gains to be made on altcoins. Do not get me wrong. That being said, I'm not taking big chances. I can't afford to take big chances. I want to take smaller chances this time and preserve some of my capital. I think that's the smart thing to do. That being said, we'll keep an eye on this and keep watching. I appreciate improvement. Cloud's still in the way right there on the daily too. You did jump over the conversion and baseline there, and you're about to get the conversion line crossing up over the baseline. Lag still under the candles. That's a no-go. Cloud still red. That's a no-go. And the price is still under the cloud. That's a no-go. So you got 1 out of 4 coming up, but that's it. So 1 out of 4, 25% is not good confluence. We need more than that. All right. Is what it is. Oh, Bollinger Bands. Mostly sideways. They did get very tight right here. And look what happened. You got a violent move to the south. Pretty tight back here. You got a violent move up. And then it kind of went sideways again. So this is the problem with the bear market. You're going to get these things where it just draws out in these long, unsettling, tiring moves. And it tests your patience. Good thing is I'm smart enough to remember what happened last time and the time before that. I'm not really falling for the, oh my God, this is it game. I know that it's more likely than not going to be a good 300 plus days of bear market, which started in October. So 300 days from October minimum, right? That's August to September. That's September really, right? So at the minimum, 2 more months. And I don't think that's the minimum. 1 step at a time, all right? Don't hate the player, hate the game. I'm just being honest. All right. So XRP here. Flipping over there to the greatest digital asset ever created, XRP. Yeah. I don't do that game. It's just another asset to me. I do like the fact that it's a higher cap, so it's a little bit more trustworthy than some of the other ones. That being said, it's not special. And anyone who thinks it is, you're being lied to, and you've allowed yourself to be tricked by the very people whom you tried to trust. And that sucks. I don't want you to trust me. I want you to do this for yourself. Still underneath the 821 EMA. And even if you do get loose with that, you got the 50 moving average in the way. Lower, high, lower, high, lower, high, lower, low, lower, low, higher, low. We'll see. Or hiccups come all of a sudden. Are we going to get another lower low in here? I am to believe that that's the case. I'm glad that $1, damn hiccups. I'm glad that $1 got tested but I think it's likely that we continue to test and or play around with $1-ish for a little bit here. Here's your weekly chart. Nothing much has changed here. You're still bearish back testing the 200 moving average. You have the 8 EMA down through the 200 moving average to create a little bit more resistance. 21 EMA is slowly working its way down. At 135, it's going to be a slow, drawn out, grinding, hateful move that will not speed up. I like the fact that we have a tits move up here. 50, 100, that's cool. And I like the fact that we've seen some price action here. That's cool. That kind of helps me solidify the chart and at least say, well, it's legit and doing its thing. That's a good sign. But aside from that, I don't have a whole bunch of other good stuff to report. Here's the RSI, nominal, sideways for the most part. Here's your MACD. You did get a bullish cross up, then a bearish cross back down, then a bullish cross back up. As you see, there is your midline. Move it over here, we can see it a little bit better. There you go. These two lines crossing the midline is the real magic there that flips us overall back bullish and would potentially lend me to think that she's ready to have a gallop and attempt to get moving. Prove it though. All right, you got trend lines everywhere. And if it does, up here at $1.30 is kind of where I see the ceiling being. I also just said the weekly 21 EMA is about 135, and in time that will work its way down to about $1.30. That would be testing the 50 moving average, the 100 moving average, and even potentially the 200 moving average. And as such, that's going to reject. Even if it's short term pops over, it's going to reject. And when it does reject, back down to that $1 range again, in my opinion, is what you will see. As we go, obviously, I'll continue giving updates. I've been giving updates on this weekly for years. And go back and check my track record, right? It's not something you're going to see me come on here and say $500 tomorrow. Oh, $10,000 programmed. Oh, that's lies. You've been lied to by the masses for clicks. Don't click on mine. Don't watch it. That's fine. Don't believe me. Even better. Pull up the charts for yourself and see what I mean, right? I have whole full-length videos on the channel. Go over to the videos, click on the channel, click on playlists. You'll see playlists there with instructional videos. You'll see TA from the ground up, which is technical analysis, data analytics from the ground up. You can chart it yourself if you don't believe me. See what happens. You'll be amazed what happens when you allow data to make your answers and not emotions. It changes everything for you. It changed my life. I think it can change yours too. Next week, we monitor more. For now, she's a no-go. How about Ethereum, also known as Ethereum? Similar position here. You're over the 821 EMA. Look at this thing get pinched by the 821 and the 50. Right smack in the middle of them, just getting squeezed now. The pinch is on. There's a lot of pressure right there building, trying to crack loose, but it hasn't yet. Weekly is pinned up right next to the 8 EMA and the trend line. Seen this before. Look at all the moving averages up here, though, bunching together. And this is what I was talking about with Tesla, right? When they bunch together like that, the price tends to come back toward them. And if it can come back towards them, that's a really, really solid move for Ethereum to really make a lot of people happy. But that would be an opportunity to take profits, in my opinion, because that would just be your summer move up and set up that end of quarter three, sometime beginning of quarter four into mid quarter four. That would be your last fall. And then from there, well, we start a new 3-year cycle, right? Baby steps, baby steps. And when I say a new 3-year cycle, there's an entire 4-year cycle that happens. 1 year of that is bear market. And that's from October, after the bull run, after halving, from October all the way down, sometimes even November, all the way down to November of the next year. Go back and look and check what I'm saying, right? Don't believe me. 2018, 2022, 2026. It's the same thing each time. Bear market, bear market, bear market, bear market. Don't believe me. Go see for yourself. And that's usually 300 plus days. In that effect, we shall wait. And then once we get our chance, we pounce. Not yet, though. And could you buy now and have the bottom? Sure. Is it more likely that this thing goes sideways and gives you another chance to go up again and get you a low price? Yes. So for me, it's not worth having money in the market if it's not going to do anything. You know what I'm saying? So we went over quite a few assets there. Went over SpaceX, Tesla, Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, NASDAQ, S&P 500, even Apple. So keep your eyes on stuff here. It's a new month. It's a new quarter. You're going to get a lot of volatility. We're starting to see some of that volatility show up in the charts here, and then maybe some gains available for you. What you're going to do, you're going to take profits. You're going to let it ride. You're going to short it. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you think, right? We do these live streams twice a week. Come hang out every single time. We average anywhere between 100 and 1,000 people. You never know how many people are going to come around. I appreciate all you watching nonetheless, right? I'll see you guys next week. Same time, Tuesday, 10 o'clock. Thursday, 10 o'clock. I have a special podcast on Monday that'll be coming out, I believe, on Tuesday. I'll talk to the guy and find out exactly when. Nonetheless, I haven't done a podcast in a while with anybody. I finally got an invite. Actually, I got an invite a long time ago. It's my social media manager guy didn't show it to me. That's why he's no longer my social media manager, but it's all good. Nonetheless, I should be dead or in jail. I'm not. I'm here. So I'll make the best of it and make the most of it. I'll see you guys next week. Y'all be good, man. Sky's the limit. I'm out. Peace.